So right guys, in this video class I am going to teach you regarding hydrochloric acid. So we need to discuss three things about it. How to prepare this, and the next one what are the properties and the uses. So these three things we have to discuss here. Okay guys. So now first let us start with the preparation. So this hydrochloric acid we can prepare by treating NaCl with the HCl. NaCl when it is treated with H2SO4, so from this we can get HCl, and next one we can get NaHSO4, and this NaHSO4 sodium hydrogen sulfate when it is treated with 1 mole of the NaCl, and here also we can get HCl, and here byproduct is Na2SO4. So here simply displacement reaction takes place guys. So here one sodium is there and here two hydrogens are there. When 1 mole of sodium is treated with sulfuric acid, 1 mole of the sulfuric acid, so one of the hydrogen is displaced by the sodium, so you can get sodium hydrogen sulfate, and that hydrogen which is coming out from this molecule combines with Cl and gives us HCl. So now this one when it is treated with 1 mole of NaCl, and here we can get this hydrogen also replaced by the sodium. So then we can get Na2SO4, and next one that coming hydrogen which is coming out, that one combines with Cl and gives us HCl. So right, and the next one guys, here HCl which is formed, that is moisture HCl, that one contains water molecules. So to remove that water molecule, so this HCl gas is passed through concentrated sulfuric acid. HCl which is formed here, so that is aqueous in nature, some water molecules present. So to purify that, so that solution need to pass through the concentrated H2SO4. You know that this one is a good dehydrating agent. So this one can remove the water, this one can absorb the water, and it leaves pure HCl. So this is about the preparation guys. And the next one, properties of the HCl. So right guys, which is a colorless gas and gives pungent smell. HCl is a colorless gas and this one can give pungent smell. And next one, its freezing point. So its freezing point is 159 Kelvin, and under this temperature, so HCl exists as a white crystalline solid. So this is the freezing point. 159 Kelvin is the freezing point of the HCl. So under this temperature, so HCl exists as a solid crystalline substance, and that is present in white color. And the next one, its boiling point. So its boiling point is 189 Kelvin. The boiling point of the HCl is 189 Kelvin. And the next one, which is highly soluble in water. So this is highly soluble in water. So now when HCl is added to the water, then HCl reacts, or HCl decomposes to H plus, and the next one Cl minus ion in water. So when HCl is placed in water, this one decomposes to H plus and Cl minus ion, and the next one between H plus and the next one H2O. So reaction takes place and gives us H3O plus ion. So now you know that H plus contains one vacant orbital, and upon the oxygen two lone pairs present. So now between these two coordinate covalent bond formation takes place and gives us H3O plus. So in aqueous solution or in water, HCl acts as a strong acid. So this one acts as a strong acid. And the next one, this one can react with ammonia and gives ammonium chloride. So this one can react with ammonia and gives ammonium chloride. HCl can react with ammonia, NH3, and gives us NH4Cl. So this is a white colored salt. So upon these two reacting, so they can produce white fumes. So that white fumes will be solidified. So this is ammonium chloride. And the next one, 3 moles of the HCl, and the next one are 3:1 ratio of the HCl and HNO3 mixture is known as aqua regia. So 3:1 ratio of the HCl and HNO3 is known as aqua regia. In this mixture, 3 parts HCl present and 1 part HNO3 present. So this is used to dissolve the noble metals like platinum and the next one gold. So they are noble metals. They are very less reactive. They won't soluble in any solvent, but these two can soluble in the mixture aqua regia. So here both can form complex salts. Due to the formation of the complex salt, both are soluble in aqua regia. So now let me give the equation. Okay. So 3 moles of the platinum reacts with 18 moles of the HCl and 4 moles of the HNO3 and gives here 3 moles of the platinum complex. This one and 4 moles of the NO and 8 moles of the H2O is given. So due to the formation of this complex salt, platinum can dissolve in the aqua regia. Right? The next one, let us see gold. So gold can react with HCl, 4 moles of the HCl, and the next one HNO3 and gives here gold complex, and the next one NO, and the next one H2O. So we can get here 2 moles of the H2O. Okay. So number of hydrogens also balanced in here. 4 hydrogens, 5 hydrogens, 1 hydrogen, 2 into 2, 5 hydrogens. So number of oxygens. What about the number of oxygens? 3 oxygens are there, 1 and here 2. 3 oxygens are there. 1 nitrogen is present and here also 1 nitrogen present. And 1 gold atom, 1 gold atom. Number of chlorines are 4 present and in the complex only 4 chlorine atoms are present. So due to the formation of these metal complex salts, platinum and next one gold, both are soluble in this aqua regia. So such kind of complexes are not formed by the platinum and gold in other solvents when they are dissolved. So these two, platinum and gold, only can dissolve in aqua regia. Aqua regia means 3:1 ratio of the HCl and next one HNO3 mixture. So in this mixture, gold and platinum both dissolved due to the formation of the complex salt. You know, most of the salts are soluble in various types of the solvents. So right, next one, HCl can react with carbonates, next one sulfides, and gives various types of the products. So first let me treat with carbonate. HCl when it is treated with metal carbonate, example Na2CO3. So then here this one can give 2 moles of the salt NaCl multiply with 2 here, and the next one, this one can produce 1 mole of the carbon dioxide, and the next one it gives 1 water molecule H2O. So when HCl is allowed to react with carbon dioxide, this one can produce salt, carbon dioxide, and the next one water. And the next one, HCl when it is treated with sodium hydrogen carbonate or sodium bicarbonate. So here also we can get this same product NaCl and CO2, and the next one H2O we can get. So right, so when HCl is treated with carbonates and bicarbonates, we can get the salt, carbon dioxide, and the next one water. And the next one with the sulfides. HCl when it is treated with sulfide, example Na2SO3. Na2SO3. So here this one gives NaCl plus sulfur dioxide gas, and the next one water molecule. So to balance this equation, multiply with 2 HCl and NaCl. So right guys, so these are the properties of the hydrochloric acid. And the next one, Uses of the hydrochloric acid. So hydrochloric acid, which is used to prepare the chlorine gas, to manufacture the chlorine gas, and the next one ammonium chloride, and next one glucose. So in the manufacture of these three substances, this one is used. Hydrochloric acid is used, and the next one, which is used to extract the glue, from the bones. So right from the bones, by using this one, glue is extracted, and this one is used as a laboratory reagent in labs. So these are the uses of the hydrochloric acid. Hi students, in this video class I am going to teach you oxo acids of halogens. About oxo acids of the halogens. So right guys, you know halogens are fluorine, chlorine, bromine, and the next one iodine. So right, this fluorine forms only one oxo acid due to high electronegativity, and the next one very small size, and the next one absence of the d orbital. So due to these reasons, this one forms only one oxo acid, that is HOF. Hypofluorous acid. So here fluorine can form only one oxo acid. So due to the high electronegativity, small size, and next one absence of the d orbitals, this one is able to form only one compound, one oxo acid, that is HOF, hypofluorous acid. But remaining all fluorine, bromine, and next one iodine. So these are able to form the series of the oxo acids. So these can form different types, HOX type and HOXO type, and next one HOXO2 type and HOXO3 type. Fluorine forms HOX type, HOXO type, HOXO2 type, and HOXO3, and bromine iodine also forms, where X means chlorine, bromine, and the next one iodine. So where X means chlorine, bromine, or iodine. So now first let me write the examples of the oxo acids given by chlorine. So write with the chlorine. So chlorine forms HOCl, and it forms HOClO and HOClO2 and HOClO3. So right, and the next one we take bromine. So bromine forms HOBr, and it doesn't form HOBrO because that is highly unstable, it doesn't exist. And Br can form HOBrO2 and HOBrO3. Next one iodine. So iodine also forms HOI, and it doesn't form HOIO, unstable that one, and it forms HOIO2 and the next one HOIO3. So these are the possible haloxo acids of the halogens. So right. So now first let us see the naming. So here HOX means guys, or the general name for all these acids you can take like this: hypohalous acids. Hypohalous acid. What is the name of the HOCl? Hypohalous place to you need to take, in place of the halous we need to take chlorous. So this is hypochlorous acid, this is hypobromous acid, and this is hypoiodous acid. Next generally, so these are known as hypo. So we have only one, and its name is chlorous acid. Chlorous acid. Chlorous acid. And next one, the general name for all these type of the compounds is halic acids. Halic acids. This is chloric acid, bromic acid, iodic acid. Okay. And next last one. So here general name of HOXO3 oxo acid's name is perhalic acids. Perhalic acids. So now here HOClO3 name perchloric acid, perbromic acid, periodic acid. So this is about the naming, guys. And next one, so here these are the hypohalous acids. In hypohalous acid, each halogen contains +1 oxidation state. In hypohalous acids, each halogen contains +1 oxidation state. Upon the chlorine, +1 oxidation state present. Upon the bromine, +1, and upon the iodine also +1 oxidation state present. And here in HOCl2, Cl has +3 oxidation state. Cl has +3 oxidation state. And here in halic acid, each halogen contains +5 oxidation state. +5 oxidation state. And the next one here, these are the perhalic acids. Here each halogen has +7 oxidation state. +7 oxidation state. So this is about the naming of the oxo acids of the halogens and their respective formulas and their oxidation states. So right guys, now we need to discuss about the acidic properties, and the next one, oxidizing power or oxidizing capacity of the oxo acids. Two things we need to discuss. First one, acidity, which is stronger and which is weaker. So that order we need to discuss. And second one, oxidizing power of the oxo acids of the halogens we need to discuss. So first let me consider HOX type. HOX type. HOX means what, guys? Hypohalous acids. So HOX type acids are HOCl, HOBr and HOI. So first let us see the acidic character, acidic order. So acidic order of these all acids. So right, here HOCl is stronger than HOBr, stronger than HOI. So from HOCl to HOI, acidic strength decreases. Acidic strength of the hypohalous acids decreases. So what is the reason here? The reason is electronegativity of the halogen. So in these acids, so not only in these acids, here in the halic acids and perhalic acids, electronegativity of the halogen increases, then acidic character also increases. In all the oxo acids, if you consider vertically like this, all the acids, so as electronegativity of halogen increases, then acidic character also increases. So in hypohalous acids or in HOX type acids, HOCl contains more acidic strength than HOBr and followed by HOI. The reason, electronegativity of the chlorine is greater than bromine, greater than iodine. So here let us see, so why acidic character increases when electronegativity of the halogen is increased. So let me draw the structure of the HOCl. So this is the HOCl and HOBr. So this is HOBr and the next one HOI. So this is your HOI. So now guys, you consider the OX bond. Now you consider the OX bond. Means this one second one, this and third one. You focus on the three bonds. This is OCl bond, OBr bond and OI bond. So now chlorine contains small size, bromine contains more size and I contains maximum size. You know, as size increases, electronegativity decreases. So now you see guys, here chlorine is more electronegative than bromine. Bromine is more electronegative than iodine. Okay, so now you see the electronegativity capacity of oxygen and chlorine and electronegativity capacity of oxygen and iodine. You know that oxygen is more electronegative than chlorine, bromine and next one iodine. So now this bond moves towards the oxygen. The bond pair of electrons present between oxygen and chlorine moves towards the oxygen. What is the reason for that? Oxygen is more electronegative atom and upon this one partial positive charge present. Now what about here? Here between there is a bond pair between the oxygen and the iodine and this bond also moves towards the oxygen because comparing with iodine, oxygen is more electronegative atom. So now you see the strength of the electronegativity of the chlorine and iodine. This is more electronegative than iodine. So here oxygen has more ability to withdraw the bond pair of electron towards itself. This bond is strongly attracted by the oxygen. The bond pair electrons present in this bond strongly attracted by the oxygen. Strongly attracted by the oxygen. As a result here, partial negative charge is very high. The partial negative charge is very high upon the oxygen. So right, next one, what about here? You see here the size of the bromine in between chlorine and iodine and electronegativity capacity also in between the chlorine and iodine. So here comparing with chlorine, comparing with this bond is strongly attracted by the oxygen and comparing to this bond weakly attracted by the oxygen. So here electron density on oxygen is intermediate. Now you see guys, here electronegativity on oxygen less, here very high and here very high. So now due to the less electronegativity, due to the less electron density on oxygen, so oxygen focus on the bond between hydrogen and oxygen. So now this bond also attracted by the oxygen. When this bond is attracted by the oxygen, then the removal of H plus is very easy. The removal of H plus is very easy. The strength of the acid depends upon the capacity to donate the H plus ion. But in this case, this one has more electron cloud. Oxygen has more electron cloud and it won't focus on the bond pair of electrons between hydrogen oxygen. That's why the removal of H plus here very difficult. Right? So now here due to this reason, HOCl contains more acidic character than HOBr and next one HOI. So next one, oxidizing power. Oxidizing power. Oxidizing power. So right guys, HOCl is a strong oxidizing agent than HOBr, strong oxidizing agent than HOI. So then what is the reason here? So here based on two things we can explain why HOCl contains more oxidizing power than HOI. So first oxidizing power means what guys? So capacity to undergo self-reduction. Capacity to undergo self-reduction is known as oxidizing power. So here HOCl has more ability to undergo self-reduction than remaining all. So let us see what is the reason for this. First one, we can explain this one based on electrode potential value. This HOCl contains more electrode potential value, that is E0 equals to plus 1.61 volts and HOBr contains plus 1.60 volts and this HOI contains plus 1.44 volts. As electrode potential value increases, then oxidizing power or capacity of self reduction increases. So simply remember, as electrode potential increases, then its oxidizing power increases. Okay, and one more reason we can explain here, guys. You see the bond strength. In this one, you see the bond between O and Cl, and here you see the bond between O and Br, and here you see the bond between O and I. So now from here to here, the size of the halogen gradually increases like this. As size of the halogen increases, then the bond strength also increases due to the polarization. Okay. So now here, as size of halogen increases, then bond between oxygen and halogen strength also increases. So here the bond strength or thermal stability of the bond between OCl and OBr and OI increases from HOCl to HOI. When the bond stability or the thermal stability of this bond increases, then its oxidizing power decreases. This bond is thermally stable. So here oxidizing power decreases, and this bond is thermally not much more stable. Comparing to this one, this is not a stable one, right? So now here this one contains oxidizing power, or its oxidizing power increases because thermal stability of this bond is a little bit weaker. That's why oxidizing power for the HOCl increases. So right, guys. So next if you consider this series HOXO2 type, so here also acidic strength of the HOCl2 is greater than HOBrO2, HOiO2. So in halic acids, so from top to bottom acidic strength decreases, or from bottom to top acidic strength increases, or from top to bottom acidic strength decreases. So next let us consider the HOXO3 type. HOXO3. So their general name is perhalic acids. So first let us see the acidic strength, acidic order. So here HOClO3 and HOBrO3 and HOiO3. So here also, guys, same phenomena follows. HOClO3, this one is stronger than HOBrO3 and HOiO3. So this is a strong acid than bromic acid. Bromic acid is stronger than iodic acid. Chloric acid is stronger than other acids of the halogens. So now here the reason due to the small size or more electronegativity of the chlorine. So previously what I have explained, in this case same thing repeats here also. Okay, and next one, oxidizing power. So next one, oxidizing power. Here oxidizing power of the halic acids explained based on the electrode potential. So this HOBrO3, this one has more electrode potential value, that is 1.74 volts, and after that HOiO3 is a good oxidizing agent and its electrode potential value 1.66 volts plus, and after that HOClO3. So this one has just 1.16 volts electrode potential value. So already I told you, as electrode potential value increases, then its oxidizing power also increases, right? So next guys, you see, let me consider this series. So here these are the oxoacids with the same halogens and different oxidation state. So now let us discuss the acidic strength of the oxoacids related to chlorine. So first acidic strength. So first let me write the acids. HOCl, this is hypochlorous acid, and HOClO, this is chlorous acid, and the next one HOClO2, this is chloric acid, and HOClO3. So what is the name of that one? Perchloric acid. So now the acidic strength order, this is stronger than HOCl2, stronger than HOClO, and this one stronger than HOCl. This is the acidity order of the oxoacids with the same halogen and different oxidation state. So right guys, here this one has +1 oxidation state, +3 oxidation state, and +5 oxidation state, and +7 oxidation state. Here the acidic strength is explained based on the stability of the anion. Stability of the anion. So here after removal of the hydrogen, so then you see the structure of the anion. Cl contains O minus, or let me take that O minus, double bond O, double bond O, and double bond O. So this is perchlorate anion, because this is we obtained after removal of H plus from the perchloric acid. So this is known as perchlorate anion. So now next let me take the structure of the anion given by this one. So that is Cl O minus, double bond O, and double bond O. It contains one bond. And HOClO, and here Cl O minus, double bond O. Here 2 lone pair is present. Next last one let me draw here H O, here only let me write. So here O minus, around this one 3 lone pair is present. So now you see guys, so here these all are the anions. So here the strength of these acids depends upon their conjugative bases. These are nothing but conjugative bases of these acids respectively. So now this one is more stable. This anion is more stable than second one, which is more stable than third one, and third one is more stable than the last one. So here for this one, number of resonating structures are possible. So here always here this negative charge forms as a bond, and from here onward here this one, this pi bond forms negative charge, and similarly when negative charge forming as a bond and this pi bond turns as a negative charge. So like that here more number of resonating structures are possible. And the next one, this one has after this one has more resonating structures, and this one has least, and this one has more resonating structure. So as number of resonating structures increases, then stability of the stability of the anion increases. If stability of the anion increases, then its acidic strength also increases, right? So this is the acidic strength of the oxoacids with the same halogen, different oxidation state. And the next one, what about the oxidizing power? Oxidizing power of this series of the acids. Okay. HOCl and HOClO3, HOClO2 and HOClO3. Oxidation states here +1, +3, +5 and +7. So chlorine is more stable in +7 oxidation state. Okay, comparing with the +5 and +7 state is more stable for the chlorine. Comparing with plus 3 and plus 5 oxidation state is stable. And next comparing with plus 3 and plus 1 and plus 3, this is more stable. Plus 3 oxidation state is more stable. As oxidation state, as stability of the see, this one is more stable with the plus 7 oxidation state, and here this one is least stable with the plus 7 oxidation state. Due to this stability factor, which one is more stable with the plus 7 oxidation state, that one is least oxidizing agent. And which one contains least oxidation number, so that one is a strong oxidizing agent. So this is the order of the oxidizing power. This is more stable. Here chlorine is more stable, that's why this one not like to undergo or to act as a oxidizing agent, strong oxidizing agent, because which is more stable in plus 7 oxidation state. And in plus 1 oxidation state, chlorine is less stable, that's why this one acts as a strong oxidizing agent. So this is about the oxo acids of the halogens.